Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Friday afternoon, December 6th. We're looking at window traders' market profile of the ES and NQ. A lot to get to since we're going to recap the charts. First off, I made a mistake. I've been saying that the Fed's next week. I'm losing my mind. The Fed is a week from Wednesday. A week from Wednesday. We do have CPI and PPI next week. So I apologize for that. Next, new all-time highs again. SPY, ES, SPX, triple Qs, NQ, NDX, and the NASDAQ composite. The Dow has not now followed the last couple of days. And again, once again, a little over $2 range in ES. ES's entire range is A period. All it did was take out A's low by, I think, 3 ticks? Yep, 3 points, I mean. That's it, 3.5 points. So your range came in A. They did defend yesterday's low, so they're still up. We're up on all 3 time frames. Let's start first with righty. Righty ends 12 wide, not 13. They missed these low. I'm in 3 tick increments. So they just missed their 5th perfect pocket here. Then with a 12 wide pock, the day's high and low, and an inside day. Now, that does not stop the one-time framing down, but it does slow it. So now we'll call the daily down to balance. Okay? Down to balance. And you'll see that when we look at the chart. NQ ends with a afternoon pullback in F and a 10 wide POC and the day's high and low. ES ends with a 10 wide POC and an afternoon rally high. There was a big disconnect between the two. NQ was up 0.9%. ES couldn't get out of its own way. On our checklist sheet, NQ, the Bulls won 7-0 today and 32-4 for the week. ES was only 3-2 for the Bulls today. ES ends with a poor all-time high and a poor low today. SPY only has the poor low. They don't have the poor high. Now here's another interesting thing which showed you how strong NQ was. NQ never traded below half back. That, like I told the room, half back was lower. D period, it was lower when D traded. It only came up when H made a new high, when it took out the IB high. So very interesting. We couldn't go trend up in NQ, right? But we never traded below half back. Pretty powerful market, no matter how poor the volume is. Again, I'm a day trader. And that told me to look for only longs. So after a poor day yesterday, did well today. Very well. I got long and NQ and A period to go get the overnight high. We opened and pushed straight up, took the long, which was very nice to get it. Then on the 9:45 turnover again, because it was just doing nothing but pushing up. So A, I wasn't chasing it. I wasn't going to chase it, but A period was very nice. B period, took the long to get the one-time framing, our second staple play, and again, on a couple of ebb and flow trades, right? They had value. They had the overnight high. They had one-time framing up. They had indices. They had a lot going for them. Not the same with ES. In C period in NQ, I took a long when we... Oh, actually, NQ did go trend. I apologize. They failed, though. They failed twice, actually. C and H. But it paid me when I took a long against the single print fill. Because it went up a little bit after that. In D period, I took a long when it pulled back against the 144 the first time. Finally got H, and I got it with my full 5. Initially, I wasn't going to do 5, but I did. As soon as it broke above E, F, and G's highs, right? Traders will do what's work till it doesn't work anymore. So what worked in C, D, E, F, and G? Shorten it. So you knew there were stops. I thought the stops would be above B's high. Pretty much was. Boom, there she goes. That was a really good trade. And then I took another long, small, when NQ filled this I single prints. And that was it. I did not look for a short today. So it was a good day. As far as our destinations go, ES, all-time high at 61.11. Afternoon rally high at 0375, 10 wide at 97.50, and today's poor low at 90. And again, the all-time high is poor also. SPY's all-time high, 609.07. Afternoon rally high, 608.39, 10 wide at 607.74, and today's poor low of 607.02. Now, let's get to the charts because it's important to talk about, the next 3 weeks or so and what could possibly happen. First, let's start with the Russell, right? The little engine that's trying. They did make an all-time high and they're firmly up on the monthly. Now, it's only 1 week into the month, but they have not taken out last month's high. That's not a big deal to me. The bigger deal to me will be when you start looking at the weekly and daily. So right now, the monthly's healthy and up. The weekly, though, is balance. They took out last week's low. So after making an all-time high, they took out last week's low. Why is that important to me? Because the last time, in 2021, NQ made a new high on the weekly. They took out that weekly low, just like we did this week. And we never saw it again. Now, I'm not saying that's going to be a repeat by any means. Okay? But what you don't want to see, let me go back to the monthly real quick. The last time they made the all-time high, look at the excess they had by the end of that month in November. Now, we didn't have that same excess at all this time. And look where we're trading the next month. Not far from the highs. Big difference. So it's a big difference on the monthly. But you want to see the weekly change, right? You want to see them come out of this weekly balance to the upside. Because if you take out this week's low, I would call it down. So we don't want to see a repeat. Now, the monthly isn't, but the weekly, for now, still has that possibility. So the monthly's up, the weekly's balanced, the daily is down to balance since we finally came into an inside day. But it does not stop the one-time framing down. Okay? So the bulls would like to see this come out of the inside day to the upside and eventually take out last week's high so the weekly goes back to bull. Because if the weekly comes out of balance down and the daily comes out of the inside day, bad to balance down, then you have to start keeping an eye on it. NQ. All-time high, up, one-time framing up 4 months. Still getting distance away from prior month's high, and we're only a week in to this month. Monthly's pretty healthy. And the reason I'm stressing those type of things is because markets don't go bull bear. And the more distance you get away, the less likely it's just going to roll over and crater. Okay? And I'm putting that out there to the people who've been shorting it. Weekly. Look at that. Now the weekly was up. Okay? Although the previous 2 weeks were inside those 2 weeks. But it was up. It was one time framing at 1, 2, 3, 4. This is week 5. But we didn't have any distance the last 2 weeks, did we? Look at this week. Is that a market that looks like it wants to roll over and die? Not to me. Markets don't go bull bear. We didn't come out of these 2 weeks to the downside. We came out of it to the upside. So up on the monthly, up on the weekly, daily, up. So the first crack you're going to have to see is on the daily. Remember, they have 2 gaps. One of them is a monthly gap. All right? So monthly gaps rarely hold. All right? In fact, where is it on here? Why isn't it showing on here on SPY? Well, it is still holding on NQ. I know that. So the monthly's up, the weekly's up, the daily is up. Okay? So for those of you who are still looking for the market to fall apart possibly and still sticking to shorts, be careful. Now, ES. The monthly, healthy, right? One time framing up, 4 months. Okay? Look at that excess on that push down in August. How we rallied to close up, leave excess, and look at this, September, October, November, and December. So we're up on the monthly. The weekly, up. Now we're not getting the same distance away that NQ's getting, and it's a very small range. NQ had like a $14, $15 range this week. Look at ES, look at SPY in ES. This is a weekly range, my friends. It's $7. It's under $7. What does that mean? It means we can take back a couple of weekly lows in a heartbeat. But that doesn't mean the market's bad. It would just mean you're wiping out a bunch of week longs. And if you think this is tight, look at the daily. Look at this. That's some ugly looking daily candles. So would I be surprised if we took out 5 to 7 lows in a heartbeat one day? No. Would it mean it's over for the bulls? No. It would just mean you're doing some nice repairing on weak structure with these weak buyers. The volume is 28 million. So unless we do close to 6 million shares in the after hours, which seems unlikely, it will be in the top 10 lightest volume again, which would mean 4 out of 5 days this week are in there. The only reason we're not in the top 10 smallest ranges because they can't get much smaller. We did 202 today, I think. 205. The range is 205 in SPY. The top 10 lightest, smallest range is 190. So these are pretty, I don't want to say historic, but this volume, and now all of a sudden the ranges also, are certainly a telltale sign that higher prices are cutting off not only volume now, but ranges. Now that does not mean that's a sell signal. It just means to be cautious, because what's to say you don't pick up some longer term money that's been sitting on the sidelines the rest of this month or early January saying, you know what, I'm underweight and this market never pulled back. So this could expand where? To the upside. So the first thing you need to see if you're a bear, and I know there's a lot out there, is to start repairing a lot of this. Now that could happen in one shot, but that would only put you into balance. Say for argument's sakes, we went from 609 to 600. Right? We came in $9 and took out a bunch of daily lows. The only thing that's going to tell me that it might be over for the bulls is not only the daily doing that, but then the weekly also, right, coming into balance. But then what needs to happen? You need to come out of balance to the downside on the weekly and the daily. The daily first, of course. If you don't, and you come out of balance back to the upside, guess what? Nothing changed. I hope this helps. I think it's important to go over, even though we are day traders. I think it's important to look at these charts, because here's what's going to happen. And this is a fact. Everybody who's been short in this market and getting hurt, right? The first time the market comes in 3%, forget 3%, that's $18. Say 2% or 1.5% comes in $10, $12. You know what they're going to be doing? They're going to be buying it. Now, I'm not saying that's wrong, but the thing is, you're going to have to see what happens out of that balance, right? If we come in 2% one day, that's $12. Now, that's a lot, but that can happen. That can happen. But you don't want to see people get whipsawed. They've been getting hurt on the short side. And then on the first downward move, 1%, $6, what are they doing? They're getting long. And then all of a sudden they're down another 1%. It's down $12. They're like, this is BS. No, it's not. Understand how the market works. Understand charts. Understand the profile. Okay? Hope it helps. There is going to be some drastic changes to my pricing structure, most likely in January. Still working on it. I think I give way too much, and maybe because my room is so cheap, people don't think I know what I'm talking about. So maybe it's time to raise the price and get people who really want to learn in here. Not that I'm saying the people in my room don't want to learn. We have a great room. But I'm tired of trying to get people in, and for what I offer is just ridiculous. So what I'm saying is, whoever joins my room never pays more than what they paid. I never have raised in 5 years people who have joined my room. People who joined for $20 are paying $20. People who are paying $30 are paying $30. So if you really want to learn, I think from somebody in a room that offers a tremendous amount, we pour our heart and soul into this, I would advise you to sign up for either the quarterly or the yearly before the end of this month, because they're definitely both all going up at some point in January. Again, it takes 2 seconds to hit the like button. If you like what you see and hear on this video, please hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Tell your friends who are interested in trading about it. I really appreciate that. You're my best source of references and advertisement by telling other people. Stay safe, enjoy your weekend, and we'll speak prior to the opening on Monday.